Hi, Sam. I'm excited to see you today. Are you ready for our new German word?
Hi, Alex. Yes, I'm ready. What's the word for today?
Today, we're learning,
Literatur.
which means literature. It can refer to written works, especially those considered to have artistic or intellectual value.
That sounds interesting. Are there any other meanings?
Yes, there are a couple more meanings.
Literatur.
Can also refer to the body of written works on a particular subject, like scientific.
Literatur.
The most common meaning, however, is simply literature as a whole. Just remember, it's not a false friend like literature in English, because it has the same meaning.
Got it. Now, what about the grammar?
Literatur.
Is a feminine noun, so it uses the article.
Die.
In plural, it becomes.
Die Literaturen.
You can think of it as the literatures.
And how about verbs or other forms related to this word?
There aren't any verbs directly related to,
Literatur.
but you could talk about reading or writing. For example,
Ich lese Literatur.
means I read literature. In the past tense, you'd say,
Ich habe Literatur gelesen.
which means I read literature as well.
That's helpful. What about the origin of the word?
Literatur.
Comes from the Latin word,
Literatura.
which means writing or letter. Over time, it evolved into the German term we use today. It's fascinating how the meaning has remained quite consistent through the centuries.
Wow, that is interesting. It's really cool to see how words evolve.
Now let's break the word down into its components.
Literatur.
Doesn't have a prefix or suffix, but you can think of it as a whole. However, it's important to note that it follows the head-last rule when it's part of a compound. For example, in
Literaturwissenschaft.
which means literature studies, the gender would still be feminine because of
Literatur.
So, it's like a building block.
exactly. You can see it as a Lego piece that stands alone but can also connect to others.
Are there similar words in German?
Yes. Here are some examples.
Literaturwissenschaft.
Meaning literature studies.
Literaturverzeichnis.
Which means literature list, and
Literaturkritik.
meaning literary criticism. Each of these compounds has
Literatur.
as a base.
That's a lot of related words.
And don't forget the words with the same suffix.
Tor,
Like,
Kultur,
meaning culture, or
Struktur.
meaning structure. They all share that common ending.
How can I use
Literatur.
in real life?
Great question. Here are some situations: at a bookstore, discussing a book in class, or during a literary event. For the bookstore, you might say,
Ich suche Literatur über Geschichte.
which means I am looking for literature about history.
Let me try.
Ich suche Literatur über Geschichte.
Perfect. Now in class, you could say,
Wir lesen Literatur aus dem 19. Jahrhundert.
which means we are reading literature from the 19th century.
Wir lesen Literatur aus dem 19. Jahrhundert.
How did I do?
That was excellent. And for a literary event, you might say,
Ich möchte an der Literaturveranstaltung teilnehmen.
meaning I want to participate in the literature event.
Ich möchte an der Literaturveranstaltung teilnehmen.
This is fun.
For the gender memory hint, remember that feminine nouns often end in. Picture a beautiful bookcase filled with classic.
Literatur.
To help remember that it's feminine.
I can imagine that.
When using,
Literatur.
it's usually neutral or formal, especially in academic contexts. Some common phrases include
Deutsche Literatur.
meaning German literature, and
Moderne Literatur.
meaning modern literature. Watch out for the word
Literatur.
and.
Literaturwissenschaft.
Since they often confuse learners.
Good to know.
Let's weave in some example sentences. For instance,
Ich habe viele Bücher über deutsche Literatur gelesen.
which means I have read many books about German literature. Another example could be,
Die Literatur von Goethe ist sehr berühmt.
meaning the literature of Goethe is very famous.
I like these examples.
Another example is,
Ich interessiere mich für zeitgenössische Literatur.
meaning I'm interested in contemporary literature. Sam, can you think of a sentence using
Literatur.
How about?
Die Literatur ist wichtig für die Kultur.
That's a great sentence. It means literature is important for culture. Now let's do a quick recall check. What gender is?
Literatur.
It's feminine.
Correct. What is the plural form?
Die Literaturen.
Well done. What does
Ich lese Literatur.
mean?
It means I read literature.
Exactly. How do you say I want to participate in the literature event?
Ich möchte an der Literaturveranstaltung teilnehmen.
Perfect. Last question, what is the origin of
Literatur.
It comes from Latin.
You did great today, Sam. Remember, the key takeaway is that
Literatur.
is a feminine noun that means literature and is rooted in Latin. Keep practicing and using it in conversations.
Thanks, Alex. I will definitely practice.